Hi everyone, welcome to a new edition of Live United, the show all about United Way of Central West Virginia and all the happenings and going on. And I'm going to take this off, and the reason is that we are clearly an arm's length apart. And my guest today, we work in the same office, and so we wanted to start out wearing our mask, and the reason being is that everyone should be wearing your mask. So
Absolutely.
Please, and then again, if you need a mask, call the United Way. We have tons of them, don't we?
We do.
You know? So anyway, wear your mask. But my guest today, we're really excited because we've got some important information to share with everyone. This is Darnitta Elswick.
Right.
She is the Associate Director of LifeBridge AmeriCorps.
Right.
Did I say it right?
You did.
Okay.
And we're with United Way.
Perfect.
So, yeah.
Perfect. So in the United Way world, I'm downstairs, Darnitta's upstairs.
Absolutely.
So, we're going to start out today, and I'd like to ask you, how did you become part of LifeBridge AmeriCorps?
Well, it's kind of a long story, but I'll keep it short and simple. Back in '98, I became a divorced mother of two.
Okay.
And I had a friend who said, you need to get out of the house. You need to do something. And she was a PAT, which is a Parents as Teachers person.
Okay.
And she said, I know a perfect thing for you. It's an AmeriCorps program. And she said it kind of has some flexibility because you're a mother of two and, you know, by yourself. And so I joined LifeBridge AmeriCorps as a member. I served 1 year as an AmeriCorps member, and then I transitioned over to a VISTA position. And then from the VISTA position, when my term was up, there was the program associate position available.
Okay.
I applied and got that, which put me in the United Way office. And then I was there several years. And in 2004, when the former director came on board, she said, would you like to be the associate director? And I said, well, I don't know. And she said, well, I think you can handle it. So here I am.
Here you are.
And so I've been a part of AmeriCorps or AmeriCorps Vista since 1998.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And AmeriCorps started in 1994.
Okay.
So I've kind of been in on the ground floor.
Yeah, I had a friend actually who was one of those first to join in the first group of AmeriCorps members. So I know about that much about it, enough to be dangerous.
Yeah,
but
well, sometimes that's all I know is enough to be dangerous.
So before we get too deep, let's shout out to your boss and your leader.
Right, and that would be Robin Bowman.
Okay.
She is the director. She's been with us now, I believe, 4 years.
Okay.
Or going on her fourth year.
So hi, Robin.
Hi, Robin. Yeah.
But yeah, so I know that together you do a tremendous job, and so today you're going to tell us a little bit about, because there's probably people listening that's like, wait a minute, LifeBridge, Vista, what's she talking about?
Well,
so tell us about it.
Yeah, and we like to say that we're one of the best kept secrets in West Virginia. We would love to be able to get us out there more and that kind of thing. But LifeBridge AmeriCorps is, our funding comes from the federal level, which is the Corporation for National and Community Service. And then it comes down to the state level to Volunteer West Virginia, who oversees, I think it's 12 programs now across the state. And so they make sure that we're doing what we need to be doing and that kind of thing. But LifeBridge is a state and national program, and we have 3 corps that are within our, under our umbrella. Okay. So we have a vet corps, and we have like 60 members that we have, and we're scattered all across the state. We're in almost every county.
Okay, and veterans?
Veteran Corps,
okay, veterans.
inside LifeBridge. What we do is we select members who are veterans or members, like a family member of a veteran. And we select those members, and then they help veterans receive the benefits that they need. So if they're having trouble navigating that system or something like that, then our LifeBridge members help them do those kind of things, get the benefits that they deserve, get them like to the VA or whatever they may need. Our members help them do that.
Okay.
So AmeriCorps members are direct service.
Okay.
A VISTA member is indirect service. So a VISTA member will sit behind the desk, write grants, get program's up and started,
Okay.
then the AmeriCorps member will move in.
They're the
and they're hands-on, face-to-face,
Okay.
client-to-client. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we have the economic opportunity, and those members serve in places like the United Way,
Okay.
or little nonprofits scattered all across the state, and they do financial literacy. We have members who serve and do 211.
Right.
They answer those calls and give people in the community the resources that they need. They also will help. They'll set up like the local libraries or something like that, and do a financial literacy class for those who don't even know how to open a checking account, or if there's a senior citizen that gets, they don't know how to get online to do banking or things like that. They help them with those kind of things.
So are they actually working for the organizations?
They do. They serve at like the United
Serving
Way.
at, right.
So if the United Way has something that their member needs them to do, there's lots of prohibited activities and things
Sure.
that people can't do. But for the most part, if the United Way needed their member to do something special, like the food pantries, the pop-up
Right.
food pantries, those kind of things, then our member can go and help do those kind of things. And then there's a set of things that we require and the grant requires for them to do. And the financial literacy is something that LifeBridge encourages our members to do to meet the needs of our grant.
Well, and we've, I've been the beneficiary of a lot of AmeriCorps member hours.
Right.
Just tremendous help and tremendous, extra hands.
It is the extra hands. It gives the member opportunities to get out into the community and see what's going on, and it helps them. It benefits that member.
Right.
So they do lots and lots of different things because of the different corps we have.
Sure.
Excuse me. They it's just a part of. There's not just one aspect.
Right.
We have several programs in the state that, like, one only does historical buildings and the remodeling of those kind of things. Our members run the gambit. They can do a little bit of everything. And then we have the education corps, and those members, we select them. They go into the high schools, and if there's a student who has failed several grades or several classes, or even one or more or whatever, that student is at risk of not graduating.
Right.
So those members come in, and they'll do one-on-one tutoring with them or small group tutoring, and make sure that those kids get the credits they need to graduate on time.
Wow.
So they've.
Now that sounds rewarding.
It is very rewarding, and the members that we have at those schools have done even more than just the tutoring. A couple of the kids couldn't afford graduation gowns and caps and all that kind of stuff, so the members called former students and said, do you need your cap and gown? Are you ever going to use it again? And they'd say no, and so they'd get that cap and gown, get it to that student. If they needed a place to stay, they made sure that those kids, a lot of kids couch hop.
Yeah.
And so they've tried to get them stable homes and that kind of thing, and they've worked with them. They've made sure that they've had food, clothing, those kind of things. They work hand in hand with those students. So.
And that's, interesting that you bring that up, because, we talk a lot about the number of homeless youth in our state, and hadn't really ever made the connection that AmeriCorps members are in direct contact with some of those youth.
And those kids, you don't know, a lot of those students, they don't know that they're homeless until they get to talking to them, and they'll say, so your parents, and they're like, I don't live at home. I just couch hop. Johnny let me stay with Johnny let me stay with him one night, and then I went over to Joe's, and then and so I just kind of couch hop and do whatever I can do when I can do it.
Wow.
And so our AmeriCorps members are like trying their hardest then to figure out how to get those students and kids on track and get them stable homes and those kind of things.
So how has COVID or the pandemic affected what your current members are doing?
Right. It's wow. We all are kind of like, we have to think outside the box because our members are direct hands-on.
We're talking about
Right,
being hands-on.
Right, they're hands-on with their
And we
clients.
can't touch anything.
We can't touch anybody. We can't be in that building. We can't do that kind of thing. So our members have come up with, okay, they'll Zoom their students. They'll pick up the phone and even call them.
Right.
They've met them at McDonald's outside. They've done just whatever they can think of to keep in touch with those students or their clients. We have one girl who spent the day just calling. They know that they have senior citizens that come into their building.
Yeah.
So they have their names and numbers. So she spent the day just picking up the phone and calling Mrs. Smith and saying, how are you?
Right.
Do you need anything? Oh, you're out of milk.
Right.
I'll see what I can do. And she would call someone, and someone would take milk and set it on Mrs. Smith's doorstep, those kind of things. So I have to hand it to our members. They've really come up with inventive ways to be in contact with them, but it has been very, very difficult.
Right. Well, and I think that's what we've all learned, how to pivot and change course. And so
and we're very flexible.
Yeah,
and, it's been very difficult because, like I said, we are hands-on.
Right.
We're supposed to be face-to-face with the people that we're serving. And I think we didn't realize how much we were face-to-face until this hit, and you can't relate, and you can't be beside that person.
Right.
You can't help them and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But we're making it. We're going to make it work. We've tried to, like our orientations and things, trainings that we do for our members, we're either going to do them Zoom or we're going to do small groups or whatever we can do. So it makes it kind of tough.
So let's talk a little bit about how would someone watching or listening become a LifeBridge AmeriCorps member?
Right. Well, the first thing they could do is they could call either the United Way at 304-340-3500 or Robin and I at our office.
And I think that's what we're sharing your phone number.
Right.
So I hope your phone rings off the hook.
I do too. It's 340-3593 or 3519.
Okay.
They could call those numbers, and we can then either email them the site that they would go and apply. What we do is, because we're scattered all across the state, they would fill out that application online.
Okay.
And then when we get the application in our system, Robin takes those and sends them to, like if you're in Charleston, she'll send it to our Charleston sites. If you're in McDowell County, she sends it to the McDowell County sites. So wherever you are in the state that we have a site, that's where she would send it.
So the site is where you would physically
be serving. Right. It would be like the Starting Point Center or the United Way or one of the schools. And the sites we would send the application to the site, and then that site is actually responsible for calling and setting up an interview and that kind of thing, because
so there is an interview process.
There is an interview process.
It's not just like you're signing up.
No, you can't just sign up. But they would go through that interview process with either like the school or the United Way or that kind of thing. And then once the site would say, yes, we think that they would be a good candidate, then we would get involved and make sure that they have to do a criminal background check and a national sex offender check. If they pass those, most people, do. If they pass those, then we move them on through, and then they would become an AmeriCorps member.
Okay.
They have to be 18 or older.
Okay,
and
that was going to be my next question.
Yeah, they have to have either a high school diploma or I think it's called TASC now. Used to be a GED.
Okay.
So they have to have graduated high school.
Okay.
18 to, we have members who have served that have been in their 70s.
Oh,
so it doesn't matter how old you are.
Right.
As long as you're 18.
And I think the great thing, too, is that, all of this has brought about a lot of uncertainty, especially for some of our graduating seniors who are kind of like, not quite sure what I'm going to do next.
Right.
So if you're watching and you have a graduating senior or graduating senior, this is an awesome opportunity.
It's a good stepping stone if they're not sure what they want to do.
Sure.
And I can give you an example. I had one member who all through high school was going to be an education